Okay, we are going to learn about the life cycle in science. You are on page 104 in your science book. Diversity of living things. Now, before we begin, on this page we have a cool plant, and you can see the root going down. And then we have a bear here with the mama bear and the baby bears. Could be a papa bear and the baby bears. Okay, diversity of living things. Now, we've learned about diversity in social studies. That's when we have, we were just talking about last week, where we have different people from different cultures, and that means that we have diversity because we have different skin color, different cultures, things like that. That's diverse and diversity. Earth has millions of different kinds of organisms. An organism is a living thing, such as a plant or an animal. So this is an organism. This is an organism. You're an organism. I'm an organism. A cat's an organism. Anything basically that is a living thing. So you are an organism too. The sprouting plant and the grizzly bears in the photos are just two of the diverse kinds of organisms on Earth. Diverse means that there are many different kinds. Although organisms are diverse, they are alike in some ways. Each organism begins life, grows, and dies. All kinds of organisms also reproduce. Okay, when an organism reproduces, it makes more organisms of the same kind as the parent. So to reproduce means to make more. This plant reproduces with its seed, and the seed grows into a new plant. The bear reproduces, and it reproduces more little bears. So if organisms did not reproduce, then when that organism died, there would not be any more of them. Living things reproduce so that organisms of their kind can continue to live on Earth. Plant reproduction. So organisms can begin their life in different ways. We usually think of a seed as the beginning of life for a plant. Seeds come in many different sizes, shapes, and colors, but all seeds have the same parts. The outside part protects the plant. Okay, we call that a seed coat. Inside the seed is a tiny little plant. Under the right conditions, the seed can sprout. That's what we're trying to do right now with our seeds that are in the window with the cottonwoods. We're trying to provide the right conditions. So the seed needs air, the right temperature, and the right amount of water to sprout. The seed has stored food inside of it so that the tiny plant uses it when it starts to grow into the new plant. The picture shows a sunflower seed that has begun to sprout. This one right here. The green part will become the stem and the leaves, and then the roots will grow downward from the seed. Soon, the new plant will be able to make its own food. Animal reproduction. Okay, most animals start life as an egg. The egg of some animals is so small that you can barely see them. Others produce eggs that are easy to see. Some of these animals lay eggs outside their body. The bird eggs in the photo are very different sizes. So if you look down here, we have lots of different egg sizes here. Can you tell the size of the birds that laid the other eggs? Well, I would say that these eggs are laid by big birds, right? Different animals have different ways of protecting their eggs. Bird eggs have a hard covering that protects the young birds inside. The fish in the photo carries eggs in its mouth. You can see that in there. It's pretty cool. Unlike the bird's eggs, these eggs do not have a hard covering in the fish's mouth. The eggs will stay in the parent's mouth until they hatch. Until they do, the parent cannot eat. That's crazy. All right, life cycles. When an animal lays eggs outside of its body, the young animal grows inside the eggs. So some animals have eggs outside of their body, and some animals have eggs inside of their body. Okay? Like adults, us humans, the baby grows inside of the body, right? And we don't like lay eggs and then we have to watch over them in a nest like the birds do, okay? The egg hatches when the young animal is ready to come out. The ostrich in the photo is coming out of its egg because it's too big for its shell. For most mammals, the egg starts developing when a young animal the egg starts developing into a young animal inside the mother's body. When the young animal is the right size, it is born. Young animals, such as the grizzly bear, sometimes stay with their parents after they are born. They leave their parents when they cannot take care of themselves. Other animals do not stay with their young at all. Most fish lay their eggs and then leave them. The young fish must take care of themselves. That's kind of sad, isn't it? But that's just the way the fish culture is, right? That's just kind of what they do. But young animals such as a grizzly bear sometimes stay with their parents after they're born. That's kind of like us with our parents, right? When babies are born, the mom and the dad keep them close to us and kind of teach them how to grow, and not how to grow, but how to behave, how to learn things, how to speak, how to eat, things like that, okay? You learn all of that from your parents. They're still taking care of you. Okay, how are life cycles the same? So all living things go through a life cycle. So here is an ant, okay? So here, life begins here, okay, for the ant. And then it's growing. It's a little baby ant. And then it's a mature ant. And then it reproduces and lays eggs, which then turn into that. It's turn into that, which turn into that, which then then lays eggs. And it goes in a circle, okay? Then we have a polar bear. Life begins. It grows. It's mature. Mature is like an adult. It reproduces. It has a baby. The baby grows. The baby grows into an adult. The baby then reproduces, okay? Then we have a plant, okay? Here's where the plant starts, right? It's in a seed. And then it starts to grow. And then it grows more. And then it's a mature plant. And then it develops seeds, and those seeds then grow into a new plant. Then it starts to grow. It grows big. It's huge and mature, and it develops seeds. See the seeds on there? And the seeds fall into the ground, and they develop a new plant. Okay, patterns of life cycles. You have learned how the life cycles of different kinds of organisms can be very different. When a red ant is born, it does not look similar to its parents. Much like the caterpillar, right? The caterpillar doesn't look like a butterfly, but a polar bear looks almost the same as its parent. Yet the life cycle of all organisms follows the same pattern. It begins life, grows, reproduces, and dies. Some organisms hatch from an egg. Others develop inside their mother until they are born. Each kind of organism also grows and dies. The amount of time for growth can be different. A California forest has one kind of tree called the Bristlecone tree. That's this one right here. And it has trees that have lived for about 5,000 years. Some insects, such as this mayfly, live only one day. Okay. All right, that is it. Good job.